Hey YouTube, I've got our new cleaning lady coming today after the debacle with the other one, and I'll be meeting with her shortly. But in the meantime, I wanted to show you my nighttime routine. Now, I use hair sticks to part my hair because they're close to my hand. I don't use any kind of comb or anything, I just grab one of them. They're made of teak, and they have like a little glass or crystal tip on the end. I make these, and they're on my Amazon homemade page, but only when I'm back in the States. So because this is not, and this is also a how to braid tutorial. You see here, this is my natural part, it's at the side. And you can see I'm wearing one of my tube dresses. It's what I can do right now. We're getting ready to leave shortly for the States again. And we have not very much stuff to work with, and I've got this thing with my knee and everything. So, anyhow, hair stick. And when I do this for nighttime, I just come down on the middle, and I just part my hair like this, and I don't really care about the perfect part. You may care about the perfect part, okay? And for full transparency, I'm not wearing a bit of makeup. And then I find it also problematic for hair if you want length retention or you want to not hurt your hair, to do something along the lines of a lot of extra brushing. If I have a couple of loose strands, I'll just come through like this, and I'll let them go like that, and then I'll come through the other side, and then I'll let them go through that. Now this is going to be teaching you how to braid at the same time that I'm showing you what I do most nights. I am a Dutch braider. I braid as though I'm left-handed. I like the look of the plait better. I think it surfaces the stylization of what a braid is better than the one where you tuck in. So I'm going to be teaching you tucking out. Always remember the center strand out of the three is the one that you're pushing forward. I was saying, just finger comb this as much as you can, because fingers are gentler than combs, but when I need to, I'll use one of these. I have a wash day about once a week. I try to hold off as long as possible. What I try to do in the beginning is I try to wear my hair as curly as I like, and then as the days go on, I start wearing more updos, more braids, because my hair gets less dirty, less contaminated, it takes less of a beating, and length retention is very important if you want to have long hair that doesn't look like junk as you're growing it out or when you get to the length that you'd like to be. As you guys know, I'm going to step back a little bit, I want my hair to be kind of hip length. I think that looks really great. But I'll be wearing it up a lot. But the thing is, I have such thick hair, and you'll see this when I begin the plaiting, that I can't really wear it on my head, right? Like in a big thing. One, my husband hates it, so that doesn't motivate me. I want him to think I look attractive, right? I know I'll get some flack from that, but you know what? I've been married to him for 37.5 years, so that's where it's at. I like to look attractive to my husband, and so what I do is I disperse my hair kind of over my whole head so I don't get headaches, and it doesn't hurt, and it doesn't cause neck strain, and it doesn't cause strain or any kind of balding, you know, because if you scrape your hair back, there can be potential for balding. So I'm going to just start here. This is for people that don't know how to braid, and like I said, I prefer the Dutch. So 3 equal strands. If you're wanting it to look good, spend more time, guys. If you don't care and it's a nighttime routine like it is with me, don't worry about it. So here I'm taking the middle strand, and I'm going like this, and I'm putting it forward. Each time you go forward, each time, you just push that middle strand forward. And this is not perfectly equal. I do it tightly because you want to do tight braids, and I'll tell you why. No matter what your hair type, it's nice to be able to pull the plaits to give it a more thick look, more volume, and make it a little showier. Okay, so this is me pulling my hair, braiding it tightly. You can see that my hair's in pretty good condition overall. The reason you know that is there's not a lot of taper to the braid. There's some taper, obviously, and I have some layers in my hair that I'm growing out. And once those are gone, I won't have to deal with it. So right now, you can see how I'm coming around. You push the middle of each strand through, always pushing with your thumb. There you go. Okay, so now there's some taper. I'm wearing black today. I have a base of a black right here, so I'm just gonna use black hair ties. I have sort of a very dark brown hair that's a little ashy. in real life. For some reason, I'm gonna go ahead and do a third tie just so it stays in. I have to fiddle with it. And I wanna show you these in a second. Okay, see? And then if you wanna wear your hair like this, it's a young style, you know, and I just put it behind my ear because I was doing what I do when I'm getting ready for bed. It's a young style. But if I wanted to pull the plaits, I could. You see, I can just do this. And then you can see how it makes it look a little bit more even, like I can pull them down and make it look less tapered if I want to. And then I do have very wavy hair that has some curl to it, not a lot. And I wanted to show you my hair tie, okay? It's coated and it's real soft. I don't use a lot of hair ties because for length retention purposes, I think it's really tough on the hair. Now I'm gonna do a Dutch braid on the other side, but first I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do this side just as I did this, and then get a picture of myself so I can put on my thumbnail. Before I started using the curly curl method, I didn't realize my hair was as wavy and curly as it was, and so I would do the Dutch braid real tight at night with my hair wet, which I would not recommend doing now because I know more. And now when I do a Dutch braid, it's either because I've got someplace I've got to be where I really want my hair protected and batten down that hatch, or I'm at the end of my cycle of having my hair before the next wash day and I want to have a different look and wear it down, and then I'll do a Dutch braid. So there's two different ways to do one. You want to do it tight to begin with regardless, because you want to make sure that if you're doing it for waves after you take it out of its thing, that it will look real wavy. Okay. The second thing is you want to be able to pull your plaits. If you want to wear it somewhere out, you want your hair to look a little thicker. Pulling those plaits doesn't work very well if you haven't braided it really tightly. So I want to just show you guys how to do it. Here is the absolute takeaway. The key point is never look at yourself in the mirror while you're French braiding or Dutch braiding. For some reason, looking at yourself while you're braiding tells your mind the wrong thing. Makes some sense, right? Because it's reversed. Anyway, I can do it now because I have before, but you'll see me look away because I want to make sure I can do it more as a tutorial. And I have very thick hair, guys, so I'm using probably beginning with more hair than what maybe some of you will. But don't worry about that. Just learn how to do this and do it super tight, even though it's counterintuitive because you want the braid to have more volume. But don't worry about that. You'll get it down. And so here it is. And this is a good nighttime routine too. 3 strands as before. Okay. Try to make them as equal as possible. That seems like it'd be simple. It's kind of not. Okay, now I'm going to look away. And again, we're pushing up. We're pushing up. And then here's where it gets tricky. You want to take whatever strand doesn't have as much as the other. You want to take from below here, okay? And you add it to that strand, and then you push up, okay? You push up, and then you tighten, all right? And then you get more from the top, and you put it in the center, and then you push up, okay? Every time you tighten, okay? I do recommend, and then see I'm taking from the top one time, and I'm adding it to that center strand, okay? And then I'm pushing that whole lot up. See how I push it up? You see what's beginning here? That's what's beginning, okay? And then I took from the back, top before. So now I'm gonna take from here, and I use my fingers, but I know some people use a comb, but and there it is. That's the one I added, and I push up. You see how I hold it with my finger? Okay? And then I take from on top, and I put it back like this. And then I do that. This one's a little thicker, so when I take my next strand from here, I'm going to take a little bit more hair and I'm going to add it to that section that doesn't have enough to make it thicker, okay? And then here it is there. And I'm just kind of doing it willy-nilly, you know, I'm not making it go, a certain direction. I'm just kind of doing it sort of high in my hair, and I can feel with my thumbs that this section I need to add to is a little bit thin, so I will compensate by getting a lot more hair from the back to put it in there. And our arm fatigue is real. Even if you're really strong, you do have to kind of keep this up. And then I come in here and I just kind of make sure it's not getting silly. And then I add from here. And this is even a nice look like this. That's even a nice look there. You don't have to do the whole thing. But if you're doing it for protective hairstyles, or to show off a braid, or you gotta go play, 3 hours of pickleball or something like that, that's different. Okay, I pushed it up. This one's got plenty of hair, so I just add a little tiny bit, okay? This one doesn't have that much, but I'm not to that there. Keep it close to the head, or it starts getting kind of going away, It starts getting away from the head, starts getting loose, starts getting dumb, and this is when it gets hard, guys. And you kind of want to finish your braid by the time you get to your nape. You don't want a bunch of braids still going that's kind of Frenching, right? Okay. Then you push that up through. See how I push that up through? I've got plenty on the one I'm adding to, so I barely add anything. I want to get to that strand where it's a little bit too little. There it is. I take from below. I take a lot of hair from below. I just go ahead and get the whole thing up there. That might have been too aggressive. I'll take some back. And then I keep braiding. Go up. I'm trying to kind of put it behind my head a little bit so it'll stay put. And then I'll add that. And now I'm down to the actual braid portion, okay? I finished up right there. It's very difficult to do it all the way back like that, but you can start up higher, which I think is a little bit more flattering look. But now I'm down to this, and if I want, I can come in and go like that, just so that I don't have to fight any kind of knots, because my hair does have texture, and it does want to knot up. That's the way it goes. Especially at night, you want to try to make sure this is really, if you're doing it for a nighttime hair routine, to have wavy hair the next day or protected in your bed, try to get as even as you can, because you don't want this last bit to be the only part that's not wavy. Then you feel almost compelled to use heat, which we want to stay away from. I used to do this. I don't do that anymore. I don't like to hammer those ends. I will be getting my hair trimmed shortly. Before we leave next week for the States, and I always get my hair trimmed by the same girl here. She takes 2 or 3 fingers off every 6 months. So let's just see. Oh yeah, that's nice. Can you guys see that? That's unpulled. That's just my hair, okay? Now, little tiny bit of pulling just makes some evenness come in. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and do the other side. And take it out of this braid, and I'll probably put this on fast forward, and then we'll see how good of a job I did. Okay, now I'm gonna start with the same method, and I'm gonna try to do it exactly the same on the other side. I've gone several years just doing it, just getting it tight and not worrying about where it fell on my head, and it does make a difference. The higher you keep it next to your part, the more wavy your hair will be from the root. So if that is a concern and you want heatless waves, this is the way to do it. I've timed myself, and I can get this done in 8 minutes, both sides, and I don't think that's a lot of time to be able to have that. And of course, you're gonna notice one side is easier to do than the other side, because you always have a dominant hand, right? And this is my easier side. I actually started with the one that was a little bit harder. I'm going underneath now. And that's how that went. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna stop talking because this is probably gonna be a fast forward part. Okay, I got them both French braided. I'm gonna go ahead and pull the plating. It's not a big deal. You guys saw that I just kind of whipped it together. This isn't like, you know, I would wear, you know, to a wedding or something. I would try more, but you see kind of my flaw was I wasn't quite as tight here as I was there. But this would work out pretty good for the nighttime hairdo to protect the hair. It took me about 7 or 8 minutes total for the whole thing. But what I would do in that instance is, I don't know if you guys can see, but I would, instead of going along here, I would go more along here. And I would be even tighter. Now, if I wanted to just wear this to look good today, it seems like I have a little bit less hair on this side, but it's probably the willy-nilly way I parted it, right? And I just pulled the plating a little bit. All my photos that you see that I'll put up here are all with my hair unplaited. Anyway, and now I'm gonna do the Milkmaid braids, and I don't follow hair trends. I'm not gonna be the girl that gets, you know, a wolf layering haircut or bangs or does something that I see other women doing. I want long hair that's pretty much all one length, and I want it to look really beautiful and rich and thick. And I think that's the most feminine classic hairstyle that I can adopt. And it's the one I've been adopting for many years. I have had my hair kind of short, like in bobs and stuff when I was young, and that's fine, but it's not my favorite. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the Milkmaid braids. And this is the third hairstyle I'll show you that's super protective. It helps with length retention, and it involves braiding too. And I think these old-fashioned hairstyles are the bomb, guys. I don't want to be a trendsetter. I just want to do what I like, what makes me feel good, that I'm passionate about. So hold on a second. Let me see how this looks with the French braids. And if I don't care for it this way, I'll go ahead and do the traditional method. Okay, now I'm doing the Milkmaid braids. And the thing to consider, again, go real tight with your braid and start it behind your ear, because you want it to be sort of like a braided headband, right? You do have to have a little longer hair to do this, but it doesn't have to be real long. And don't worry about the tails. We're gonna take care of that, right? So it's just as simple as going over like this. And I do mine a little closer to my face. Do you see how that works? And I did this one here, and then I just get something like this, and I make it stay put. These are worth their weight in gold. I love the size of these. When I want to do any kind of little updo, or I don't want to have to do anything, I always use these, and they hold things in place. And I wish I had more colors, so I'll link them down below. And then I'm gonna look in my mirror, because that seems to make a big difference. Okay, you see how this is trying to gap here? Let's go ahead and pull it further. There we go. Okay, that's better. You see how that looks? It's a very old-fashioned presentation. Also, this is a nighttime routine. I just started doing these from another girl I watch, and I like them a lot. And I wore it overnight, and it didn't come loose. And I use bobby pins. I'm gonna get special ones just for thick hair. And I want a little bit better quality of my bobby pins. I hate it when they spaz out and stuff. It makes me mad. Okay. There's that, and you see this is how it's looking. And I probably would use my regular part, which is kind of off to the side. I prefer a side part. I think it's a little bit more flattering for me. You notice that I've got my hair tie here. I don't get rid of the tail. I just twist it, and I put it inside the braid. Okay, I put it inside there, and I hide it underneath the biggest part of the other braid. Then I just get my bobby pins, and I come in and I start battening down these hatches. Okay, I'm gonna get special bobby pins for thick hair, because my hair is so thick, I can't get it to stay put. There we go. There's that a little bit. And then I go ahead and I get a couple of anchoring bobby pins for the other side, so those gaps aren't a thing. This works as a nighttime hair routine. It really does. And I just use the links as kind of a driving point. And I just kind of tack it in to begin with, okay? You see that I still have this nonsense back here. I gotta hide that now. So I've got that, and I just twist it, and I place it beneath the other braid, and then I pull the other braid back a little bit. And then I just hide that tail. I just hide the tail. This is a style that is so critical for women that are important, or they want length retention, or busy moms, or whatever. And it's classic, guys. I know that it's not a trendy style, but your hair is up and it has a very elegant look. Let me see how the back looks before I show you guys. Oh my gosh. It looks fine. It looks real good. Okay, now here's the back. I just love it. I think it's fine. Now what I'm gonna do is to make it look a little bit more stylized, I'm gonna just pull the pleats, or the plates, and then I'm gonna go ahead and then re-anchor it with some more of my bobby pins. I can use as much as 20 to keep my hair really staying like it ought, right? Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna start pulling the plates. I don't know kind of how that's gonna work. You can see where it makes it look a little fuller, but then I also need to put in some more bobby pins, of course, because it loosens it, right? And when I put them in the front, I also put them in the back. This is the second time I've ever done this hairstyle, so it's not, you know, a super familiar hairstyle. But look at how pretty that is, you guys. Look at how much volume you can add. And then I think I like it a little bit pushed up there on the bottom, so I'm gonna go ahead and anchor it in such a way that it lifts it a little bit on the sides. Or attempt to. Oh yeah. I mean, it's kind of like Princess Leia or something, right? Wow, I like that. Okay, this part's trying to come loose. And you don't want it real tall, but a little bit of pulling here makes it look almost crown-like, okay? And if I can be a princess without having to marry the prince or pay the money, I like that. Wow, that is cool. It's almost a halo effect. It's just, yeah, I dig it. What do you guys think? Isn't this beautiful? Look at that. I love it. Okay, that's it for today. I know that was a lot, but if you really love long hair and you like elegant hairstyles that are classic, that protect your hair or give you waves the next day or you can wear at night, this is the way to go. It's totally it. Anyhow, subscribe and like to my channel, you guys, and I'm gonna keep on offering these kind of variety things. I'll be doing hair, frugal fashion, and how I eat on my carnivore journey, and how I keto fast and stuff. And what else? Oh yeah, I'll do writing videos, and also I live foreign for part of the year, and I'll be doing a video on that shortly. Anyhow, thank you guys so much. Love you. Subscribe, like, share, all those cool things that people do.